Are we on?
We are.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just host it on Outlands. All right, sweet. We'll probably just wait a few more minutes for people to filter in here. Yeah. Good. Look at that window in a window. Very fancy. The launch card and all. I've been a little busy.
That's been playing in my head all week.
Oh, stones?
Yeah.
My phone's blowing up with followers now. All right, should we get started?
Yeah, I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, sweet. So, hi everybody. This is Owen, and I'm here with CLX. I thought I'd bring him back. He's our honorary first community member ever, and also a fantastic chatting companion. And then we have Expo in the background, who is hanging out at multiple locations in game right now by the looks of it. Just gonna kind of wander around in the stream. And I just wanted to take some time to talk about the week, because it's been pretty exciting. And there's a few issues in particular that I wanted to address and thought it would be easier just to put it over voice instead of making you read things, because we all know none of you read anything. So, that said, hi everyone.
Owen, there's no time to read anything at the moment.
Oh,
Everyone's
God.
too busy playing your amazing server.
Yeah, we're about to break 1,300 players online, which is a pretty crazy milestone. Outlands is officially the largest free shard in the world, which is a pretty huge accomplishment. And
As it deserves.
well, we didn't want to be cocky guessing numbers when we were asked during beta. You know, we were pretty constantly approached and said, what do you think the population will be? What do you think the population will be? And we'd say 500. I think it'll be 500 players, and that was a modest guesstimate of the direction the shard was going. And to say that it's blown up and blown everything up in the meantime, it is a pretty huge understatement.
Yeah.
I guess the direction that the server's taken.
Before we carry on, can I just check that I'm loud enough this time, as I was really quiet last time round? Anyone pop a comment in chat that my voice is loud enough? Yeah? Okay, great. Yeah, with numbers, not that I want to make this about myself. Can you remember my guess when us three were on chat?
Yeah, I think you said 1,200
two weeks ago? Yeah, I said 1,200 to 1,300, so
yeah.
There you go!
There we go.
Anyway, more importantly, after this week, how do you feel? Because when I spoke to you on Sunday, you, you didn't sound too good.
I was probably in tears. Oh man, it has been a wild ride. I feel pretty good right now. I've kind of chilled into this role. I found some time today. I took an hour and a half away from the computer for the first time since we launched and went for a bike ride and had a shower and ordered some food and just gave my dog some attention, which she's been severely lacking. So it
Oh man,
called my mom, took some time away.
your dedication is appreciated. I'm sure I speak for everyone in that. It's been amazing. Despite the lag and some other small issues, it's been unbelievably good. But there's people everywhere, Owen. I don't know if you've had much chance to really kind of explore the map. Everywhere you go, there's people. I see different people every time I go out to a dungeon. It just couldn't be any better. You just need to sort the lag out.
Yeah, that lag beast is a real pain in the ass. I think the main thing is that there hasn't been a shard this big in a long time, and we're doing everything we can do to optimize our connection. We're auditing the code constantly. We're hacking and slashing and trying to make changes. Obviously, we don't really know how those changes are going to affect anything until we get it on the live shard, because there is no lag on the shard when there's 800 players, but the minute we hit 1200 players, in that range, then things start to add up quickly. So it is our main focus, obviously. As much as we'd love to be rolling out content and getting other things rolling, now we're really focusing on getting this lag issue sorted out. For some people, depending on the routing that you have to the server, they're not lagging at all. We have a lot of people that you'll see, running past you quickly, and that's just because they have a better connection. It seems like the Europeans, like Expo, I mean, you see him playing, he has zero lag right now. The Europeans are definitely suffering the most. I think Spanish players have the worst routing to the shard right now. I'm getting some pretty offensive messages from people who say, thanks so much, but this is unplayable. In other words, it's a joke. And it's hard to swallow those sorts of comments, but I just have to remember that we have 1,300 people online, and that's a pretty damn good accomplishment.
Well, whilst we're on that subject of players and their response to it, what can we as players do to help you to make it slightly easier, both in the way we deal with you and Expo and Lucius, and in what we actually do on the server? Is there something we can do to minimize the lag, or is it simply just player numbers?
Yeah, well, there's a few things that are going on right now that I think would be beneficial. If you don't need to have your show skill gain active, then turn it off. If you're running macros, don't spam the server. Make sure you have enough of a delay between things. We're doing more server side now to combat that issue than we had been in the past. So people are finding that they're being disconnected if they're spamming the shard. That initially made a huge difference, but it's starting to creep up again. In terms of just how people are dealing with us, there's nothing more aggravating than seeing people come into chat and say it's laggy. We're very aware that the shard is lagging for some people and that things are frustrating. Your pets are moving slow. We're literally doing everything we can do in our power. I mean, I don't think Lucius slept for 24 hours yesterday. He literally coded until 11:30 this morning, right before we patched, and finally went to bed. I think what people forget is that the development core team of Outlands is 2 people. I think because it has this illusion of professionalism that other shards don't have or haven't had in the past. It's looking from the outside like a professional gaming company, multi-million dollar gaming company with 60 people behind it. But no, it's just the 2 of us. And we're so grateful for the support of the staff that we have, who are doing an incredible job, keeping things running. But there's really only so much that we can do in a day, and we're trying our best to get things running as smoothly as possible. Obviously, we want things to be running as smoothly as possible, because if it's not, people aren't going to stick around. So it is absolutely our number 1 priority.
I think everyone can see the potential in the server, and I think a lesser server perhaps you wouldn't get such forgiveness. People would consider giving up, but there's no way anyone's going to give up on Outlands, having seen the population and the features and everything about it, really. So I don't think there's any danger of that anytime soon. I think when it will become an issue and I'm sure it will be resolved far before then, is once people get to the point where they're actively PvPing or going out looking to do faction fights and things like
Right.
that. At the
Yeah, and
moment, is there something people can do?
for sure, we'll have that. We'll have it resolved by then.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. The amazing thing about building a community this size. Let me just see where we're at in game right now. There's 1,300 players online. 1,164 of those are unique IPs, and there is 5,238 accounts created. So what I'm trying to say is that the pool of people and talent that we're gathering now is broader than we've ever reached before. And from that pool of people, we're able to draw some really interesting bits of information. Jaden, who's on our staff, for example, works full-time in large-scale server optimization, and he's on the case. We've been analyzing data that's been coming and going from the server for the past 7 days now, trying to figure out exactly where the bottleneck is for the lag. And also, I'm being approached by people who are saying like, "Hey, I work for Cloudflare. We'd love to help you out or see what we can do. Or I have access to a staff account. Maybe we can set something up and do a trial there." And also, Amazon Web Services has approached us about hosting the Shard, and we're looking into all of the options that we can. The thing is, right now, is that we don't have a connection issue. We're not being attacked. We are simply dealing with an extremely active server, and I don't think that anybody's seen this in quite some time. So a lot of the lag that people are feeling is just activity lag. The Shard is busier. It's busy. I've had a minimal chance to wander around. I've been dropping in and seeing people as much as possible, but from what I do see, there are 1,000 active players at any time out of 1,300 online.
Yeah,
And
I don't doubt that at all.
we're simply just trying to keep up with that right now, and once we get things narrowed down, I don't foresee any issues moving forward.
So I know you've had the week off. I'm assuming the only way Luthien has been able to be around as much as he has is he had the week off work as well.
No, he hasn't. Luthien took off till Wednesday, and then he went back to work Thursday, Friday. But I think he coded the whole time that he was there for the Shard, and we've released 3 full patches plus some last-minute changes as well. But yeah, no, he's plowing through things to make this as enjoyable as possible for everybody.
Yeah, I can't believe the amount he's managed to patch already.
Yeah, he's made some good changes. I think there are a few things that are quite pressing. In particular, there's some notoriety issues that people are experiencing, and I know that they're frustrating for a lot of people. That's definitely first on our agenda once we narrow down this lag issue. We're not sure exactly what's going on in that regard. I think that people are healing monsters without knowing they're doing it, and then people are killing those monsters and they're getting flagged gray, and also the timers are a little skewed for some reason. So we're definitely aware of what's going on there, and we'll work to address that as soon as possible.
I think that may also be a little bit lag related as well.
Yeah, I think people are running scripts that are faster than the server right now. That's one huge thing that, if you're running unnecessary things, then please stop pounding the server with them if you can. That would be very helpful. The week kind of started off amazingly well. I couldn't be more thrilled with the way things went. We launched at 11 o'clock a week ago, 11 in the morning. On Saturday, we immediately shot up to almost 1,000 players. We ended up hitting 979 concurrent clients connected on Saturday. Almost immediately, the patch server went down. So I spent 5 hours post-launch figuring out the patch server to make sure that we got new players connected, and also team viewing into probably 300 people's computers and setting things up manually with a Google Mirror link. Thankfully, Vorspire worked hard to get the patch server up and running, and we actually moved the patch server off of the game server and onto its own dedicated server, which has helped speeds there tremendously, but it's still not running as fast as we want it to. That's definitely something that we need to optimize further. People are downloading around 2 megabytes per second. In some cases, it's slower depending where you're connecting from. That is a symptom of there's 500 files that people need to download. There's more than 100 people downloading at any given time, and we need to throttle the rate at which you can download files because otherwise you end up with permission issues. So it's kind of a symptom of the infrastructure of the patcher and also the amount of traffic that we're seeing there. So once that got sorted out, I was able to kind of ease into the game, and people noticed the lag that we had when we launched went away almost immediately. And then we got into the issue of people who were spamming the server with their macros.
Yeah.
That were just too fast. There were no delays. People were just spamming constantly. And the nature of UO emulation is that you can only decide what to do with the packets that come in, but you can't turn them away. So we have adjusted the way that we're infiltrating packets now, which has made a huge difference. I don't even want to think about what it would be like if we weren't doing that. And that was kind of issue number 2. Issue number 3 was the website was attacked with a denial of service attack, which pushed our traffic through the roof. So we ended up upgrading to business tier hosting. And then for some reason, in the past 24 hours, we had a database corruption of all things. SQL is probably the most reliable database, or just, most reliable piece of computer infrastructure that you can be working with. And we lost a week worth of our forums. So on the web front, I've been dealing with all kinds of other bullshit. Just trying to keep information accessible and get information out to people who are asking questions. So it's been one sort of putting out of a fire behind the scenes after another, all the while trying to keep people abreast of how the shard's progressing and keep them updated on patches. And then midweek we found a major bug, which was kind of hilarious. I had a really nice guy approach me on Discord, and he said, "Hey, can we hop in voice?" And he said, "Hey, so I found this bug. I can make gold." Oh my god!
What? You've got to tell us about. You've got to explain this properly.
Oh, so grateful for this guy and his honesty. He found the bug, and within 2 minutes, the server was down. There was a patch midweek. I don't know if anyone noticed, when we didn't give you any notice to log you out. We just shut it down. And he said, "I haven't told anybody. I just found this," and I immediately took the shard down. Called Luthius. It was 2:00 in the morning. And he got on and fixed it within 45 minutes, and we had the shard back up. So I thanked this character for his honesty, which is one thing that we've been doing as well, which I'd just like to share, that if you're finding something that's wrong, we're rewarding you for bringing it to us. We have so much to wade through in terms of content right now with players online, as well as conversation in Discord, that if you're not bringing it directly to our attention, then there is a chance that we can miss things. So if you're finding something that is game breaking, or you're feeling it's not right, or someone's breaking the rules, then bring it directly to us and we can work out some kind of an agreement to thank you for what you're doing. It's been extremely beneficial for us, that people are bringing things forward to us in that way so that we can fix things as soon as possible. And I think you can tell by the amount that we're patching that we are fixing things literally every day. But overall, launch week has been extremely stable, short of this lag beast that we've got chasing us right now. 4 crashes all related to core code and run UO that we, had nothing to do with us and we didn't think would ever trigger, but it's been completely patched out already. So yeah, the shard hasn't crashed today.
Yeah, well, I think it was impossible to predict how this many players would affect the server. I mean, when was the last major server launch with this many players? 5-6 years ago?
Yeah,
obviously things
so.
have changed then. The kind of automation has increased. People have got macros running. There's obviously a lot more code on this server as well, I'm sure. So I have zero expertise, but there was no way you could predict any of this, I'm sure.
No, for sure, and we're just kind of rolling with the punches. And like I said, we're making changes and putting them on live, and a lot of these changes don't rear their ugly head until we pass a certain number of players.
Right.
As RunUO isn't the best emulation software, and short of rewriting it and starting from the ground up, there's only so much manipulation we can do to make things effective. And I think the last big server launch was Ancorp 2. We just surpassed their record today. They launched with 1,276 players. Before that, it was Ancorp 1. They had 1,400 players. I wouldn't be surprised if we smashed that too. Before that, it was Emporilem. And yeah, there's just really no way to know exactly how all of these game systems are going to react to this many people. So it is it's a work in progress. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just noticed a
Uh,
comment in chat from Sir UO saying possibly a notification on login that you're working on the lag might be an idea. I probably agree with that. I mean, whether anyone would read it, as you said earlier, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, people don't really read anything. You put up a gump and they close it right away. Like, so many people have asked us how the young player system works, and literally every time you're young, you get a gump that pops up with an explanation of exactly how it works. So yeah, it's something that we could consider for sure. We also do have Discord, which is our main point of focus, and I think that most players are in Discord because that's where we do announce most things and where most content is derived from, for better or worse. Also, I'm trying to keep the website as up to date as possible. Right now, we're sharing patches online. The website's functioning better today than it has all week. So, yeah, I, I think that what people are seeing when they're logging in is an amazing shard that's busier than any shard they've ever been on before,
Yeah.
for the most part, and that's retaining them enough. And if you simply ask someone like, "Hey, it's laggy," they're going to say like, "Don't worry, Owen and Luthien are working on this as much as possible. They're dedicating as many resources as possible to fixing it as we can."
Yeah, I feel like you just need to make it clear as often as possible that we've all got our part to play in it, to not bother you too much, to not run 3,000 macros on each account. It shouldn't be that difficult, really. But I'm sure we'll get there. And anyway, if you were, I think I asked you this question about beta as well. If you could go back in time, what would you do differently? So if you could go back to exactly a week ago, what would you do differently, or what would you like to go differently, other than the lag, obviously?
I would have moved the patch server to its own server immediately. Probably wouldn't have pushed a patch update so soon prior to launch, because there were, 500 people that were stuck in Prevalia because I pushed that map launch prior to the server launching by 24 hours. So I spent a lot of time troubleshooting people there and explaining that they had to patch to unstuck themselves. I don't know. I think things have gone as smoothly and as well as we could have hoped for. Really, it's been an exceptional experience across the board. I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, that I've actually taken part in official game launches and stuff before, and to be honest, this has been one of these one of the smoothest. It's never perfect ever.
I can only remember. Sorry, Owen. I can only remember 2 server crashes all week, and I took the week off work to play Outlands because that's my life. And I can only remember 2 crashes a week.
Yeah, I think it's been pretty remarkable. Kudos to Luthien. I mean, the guy's worked his ass off. There's I can't thank him enough for the amount of work that he's put in, and also the rest of the staff. I know that Expo and Lens have been working their ass off to answer pages. Lens has been our Euro support lead. He's been on working tirelessly to get things organized. Also, Secret Man, who we brought on midweek, actually hired a new counselor, has been extremely beneficial, answering tons of pages. Troy, Jaden's working tirelessly on the server as well. Kalik has been a huge addition as well. Alias, Adams, Attila, all of them. I can't thank the team enough. They put in so much work and have really, I think, helped everybody feel like there is a very active staff presence on the Shard, which makes such a huge difference in the overall experience.
It's another benefit you've gained from such a long beta period, that as much as we all were asking you for launch a year ago, you wouldn't have found these people at that point in time to the trusted players that you can rely upon to step in
absolutely.
and take the counselor role.
Absolutely. We were really fortunate that we had such an incredible beta community to draw people from. So I had a chance to get to know people and hire them on, and subsequently they know so much about the game. I mean, I think in some instances some of these counselors know more about the game than I do at this point, because they've played the game so much and they really know every system inside and out. Sometimes bugs pop up and I think, how the did Grizzly's Ghost not find this? That guy tested every single system, GM'd every single skill on beta, and that fucker didn't find that bug.
So we're gonna blame him. Yeah, I'm okay.
I'm blaming Grizz. I actually said that to Luthien because we had a tomb bug pop up, and I thought Grizzly didn't find this? I mean, he literally played beta for 16 months as if it was a real shard and reported so much and made so many amazing posts on the forums, but he still didn't find that bug.
It just shows you how much depth there is to UO in general, and especially Luthier's UO.
Yeah, it's hugely in depth.
Even
I mean, Outlands is
enough.
the most in depth shard there's ever been, I think, and above the regular UO mechanics, which in some cases are a little different than you might expect, there's also the Outlands mechanics on top of all of that. One thing that I didn't mention during the week's fuck-ups was the Captcha system. We had a little 2 days ago or whatever, we randomized the Captcha to the point where it didn't even really resemble numbers anymore, which was kind of funny for us to I'm delirious.
Funniest part of that I saw was Black T's edited version. That
made me laugh. I saw it come through on my phone and it made me laugh so hard.
Yeah,
I was standing in line for a coffee, like left the apartment for a second, and I laughed when I saw that.
If anyone can link that in chat, if anyone can find it,
I think it was kind of a genius move though on our part, because we had beta up and we had another Captcha in place, and people had logged into beta simply for the sole reason of abusing the Captcha. They were using Razor Enhanced. They've abused every system and every rule that we have, and they had the Captcha cracked. So they thought they'd be able to log in, 3, 6, 9 miners or loggers or fishermen or whatever, and just endlessly gather resources. And when they logged in first, the Captchas came up and they were completely new Captchas. They had no idea what they were, and their programming wasn't up to date, and they couldn't figure it out. We had some users that failed the Captcha 6 times, like almost immediately, and I'm sure I would have loved to have seen their faces. Definitely made me smile. We pulled a fast one there, which was definitely a good move on our part, which helped slow the resource train down. We had houses placed within the first 4 or 5 hours, I think.
So on that subject, I've got a question. Who placed the first house, actually?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's kind of debated, but
we can check who purchased the house first, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'd like to. I'm sure they'd like to brag about it. To be honest, I haven't been keeping up with the server first now.
It would have popped up as a achievement, I'm sure. Anyway, I didn't notice.
Yeah, the landowner. Mm-hmm.
I think it might have been a Captcha.
Doesn't surprise me.
Then Beer Brothers was shortly after. Yeah, Hero.
Yeah,
it was a Captcha, the Hero Guild. I think they were the first. I know they were running like
carpentry. Carpentry. Yep.
Carpentry machine in Terran.
Oh my god.
And that was Akasha, and his wife had requested their multi-account household privileges like 2 weeks in advance of the server opening, and completely legit, they did everything by the book, followed the rules perfectly, sent me this great email, and we had it all set up, and then the multi-account privileges didn't work on login. So it might have even had it faster if both Akasha and his wife had been able to be playing together. But Akash was like, I was on 2 accounts and then my wife was on 1, and we couldn't go as fast as we wanted to. But yeah, he did it. So he was the first down, and then Beard Brothers was the first guild, as far as I know.
Yes, I believe that's right.
Yeah, they worked hard too. They had a plan. I saw in another chat room they had diagrams for like login, where to go. They were educating the new players and like the direction that they had to run. It was pretty awesome. They had a pretty awesome setup.
So on that subject, this is probably more for Expo than yourself, Owen, because I imagine you've not had time to really be looking what people are up to. What have you seen players doing that has either impressed you, horrified you, made you laugh?
Oh, so you do want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Actually, yes, I have been trailing some people, obviously, and I've seen some really fun interactions between people. You've got the normal, hey, did you dry loot my corpse? And start chasing after grays, which is fun to watch. Then I've seen people get teleported to remote locations and stuck, so that's always fun. What else? What other? I've seen a lot of stuff. I've actually taking footage as well. I might do like a
That'd be
Outlands,
amazing. If
yeah,
you could do a
Outlands
video.
uncensored video. And
If you can do that, I would love it.
yeah, I still need to see, how and how I can do that, but I am as creepy as some people think, and I probably am stalking you. So just a heads up.
That was Owen's favorite pastime on Rollpaw, so he must be really missing it this time around.
Yeah, I can't stalk people. That's the saddest part. But I do love. I was taking a look around and just wanted to say that Prevalia is the most popular city. So for anyone who loves Andaria, you should probably just jump ship and come to the best city on the Shard because Andaria is garbage.
I would actually have to tell you that Prevalia is the fifth best town on the server.
Fifth best town.
There were double the amount of people in Prevalia earlier today than there are in Andaria.
That's got something to do with that vendor, I think.
People are asking who the other
Cheater.
person is in this chat. That's Expo. We've got
With the
Expo and
list.
CLX in with us. I am Owen. Luthien doesn't do voice because if he did, he would never get any programming done. He doesn't listen, doesn't jump in chat. We talk on the phone if we have to, but otherwise we.
His time is far too valuable. We don't have time to waste with. He doesn't have time to waste with this.
Yeah, really. I have to say, if you're watching this, don't message Luthien. Nothing could be more annoying than people messaging Luthien. He's far too busy to answer anything that you may have to ask for him. If you have a question, ask me or ask Esco or one of the other staff members. Or if you have an issue in game page, there's always staff in game. So if you're having an issue in game then page, it's simply the easiest way for us to find you and the easiest way for us to help you. That's definitely. Please don't message Luthien.
I've tried to break my habit from beta of messaging you both with every thought I have. I mean, you've still had a bit of a bombardment because I've known you for so long, but I've specifically not messaged Luthien once since the server launch, just because I know what he's dealing with.
Yeah, I kind of miss my beta friends.
Owen, I haven't seen a single one of the people that I would speak to in Discord daily in beta.
I know everybody's
or
gone.
seen them in game because the server's so busy.
Yeah.
And your map is deceptively large. I know you have frequently said it's half the size of Britannia, but it's so content rich that it seems larger to me.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, if you're actually running it, going from one end to the other, you'll do it in half the time. Well, not north to south, but definitely east to west. But it is, it's big. It's big for sure. We took the approach of making it smaller, but also wanted it to be content rich. There have been some amazing custom map shards in the past, and they were intentionally smaller and very small, but I think in that aspect they lacked content to a certain extent. And what we did with Outlands was decided to make it smaller, but also jam it packed content. So when you're out there playing, you're really feeling like you're running into a lot, but the reality is that it's all fairly close together.
So what's your thinking? And this, so apologies for dropping questions on you that are probably more for Luthien. But how do you feel about the loot drops, difficulty of mobs, etc.? I've got a few thoughts, but let's hear yours first.
Yeah, we've been monitoring a lot of things. I think the change to Blade Spirits and Summons was something that was really necessary. There were a lot of people that were abusing that system. The main change being that now you can't drop a Blade Spirit on a boss and then hop the gate and leave it and just let it tank while you do nothing, in complete safety. So we are leaving the difficulty of monsters alone, but adjusting other mechanics alternatively, I guess. So making certain things not quite as OP as they were before. And I think that no one has found a level 1 treasure map, which is funny. Probably a strange code oversight. So we'll get those in as soon as possible. And otherwise, I think that the loot drops are pretty good. People are realizing what it's like to play on Outlands. It's a bit harder to raise your skills. It's a bit harder to find the gold you want. It is feeling a bit more like an investment, and that's definitely a game design decision that we put in mindfully.
Yeah, I think most things are pretty much dead on. So there's enough kind of special drops on the mobs to keep PVM interesting. And there's enough magic weapons drop in and magic items, but they're low level.
Yeah.
So at the point where you do get a power or a vank weapon, it feels
pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The only I would say treasure maps are dropping too frequently, as are inscription runes. Other
Right.
than that, I would feel everything's alright. I've played solidly all week, and I've got one skill orb, for the 720 cap, which seems about right for the amount of hours I've put in. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
I don't think things are far wrong at all.
For sure.
Confident.
One other shout out that I want to make, which I didn't mention, was all of the streamers that have been streaming Outlands. It's been incredible. I don't know if any of them are listening, but we had 8 people streaming at one point. So
Yes,
almost
we
the
did.
entire Ultima Online channel was people streaming Outlands. And streaming really is the best way to get the word out now. I think a lot of people find the graphics of UO kind of endearing now. They're old but still quite good, and people are curious what it is, or if they haven't ever had a chance to play Ultima Online before, this is a good opportunity for them to jump into the game and get going, especially on a young server and a server that is so populous.
Community is everywhere.
Yeah, if you hadn't played Ultima before, you probably won't see a launch like this again. I don't know if that's fair to say, but I don't see anybody else developing a shard of this caliber in the near future.
That's fact. That's
ever,
fact, Owen.
ever again.
It's not going to happen. Even if someone did, it would take 5 years to reach this level, and in 5 years' time, there isn't going to be the community remaining.
Yeah, we seem to have hit a bit of a sweet spot. I think people are looking for a change. They're looking for an Ultima Online shard to make their home. I think that we had an amazing community built and a huge amount of outreach that was done prior to. Our advertising's been amazing. We're getting tons of hits through Google. Right now, if you're searching for Ultima Online, you're hitting Outlands. And overall, this is the spot to be. So we're grateful for the streamers, absolutely, for getting the word out. Papa Carl was the first one, and now there are so many people streaming. We have streamers from all over the world. We have a Japanese streamer. I saw a few Americans.
The Japanese.
Moorland TV, who seems to reel in 300, 400 viewers every night. He's playing. Also like to shout out to DJ Wheat, who is a longtime Ultima Online lover who's involved with Twitch, and he's around as well. So we have a lot of amazing support happening for Outlands right now, and it feels good. I'm super proud of the project. Obviously, there are a few obvious things that we need to work out, which we'll tackle, we'll conquer, and it'll hopefully be smooth sailing from then on.
Have you been adequate, or sorry, has Outlands been adequately rewarded with donations since launch? I'm guessing because you were clever enough to put a unique launch cloth in. That's I take it donations have been flying.
Speaking of the cloth, I have black tea here with some. He just popped into the new player dungeon.
With some cloth.
Yeah.
Yeah, we added Shimmer Oxide. It's a limited edition cloth. You can buy it with gold or with donation coins. So that's on the Prevailing Merchant right now.
Said like a true salesman.
Here's the speech, sales pitch. No, Outlands has been very generously rewarded. Absolutely. People are extremely supportive of a project like this, and we are so grateful for that support. It's definitely going to help us facilitate the changes that we need to make in terms of server capacity moving forward, hiring the people that we need to hire. Outlands is it's good. Yeah, if we look at the numbers right now, we have a few years of hosting covered, which is an incredible amount of support, and that's all thanks to you guys. So I see someone asking if they donate today, is it too late to get Shimmer? No. Right now I'm handing out donations manually, which takes forever, but it gives me a chance to keep an eye on what people are doing and also to thank them for their generous support of the project. So if you donated today, I did one round of processing before noon, and I will go through and make sure everyone gets their donations before the end of the night tonight if they've donated by now. We're still debating. We're going to take Shimmer Oxide off the merchant when we do a patch. So if there is a patch by tomorrow, it will come off then. If there's a patch later, it'll come off then. We'll announce as soon as we have a patch. So if you're interested in cloth, get it now, I guess would be my advice. It will never be seen again. So this is the only time that Shimmer Oxide will ever be available, and then it will go down in history. Someone suggested calling it Shimmer Lag, which I thought was funny.
Yeah, I like that.
It was kind of
Asshole.
an accurate name for it, but Shimmer Oxide is the official name of that hue.
Can I just ask, Owen, if you do another rare cloth on the vendor, can it be a less horrific color, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think the next rare hues will probably come out at Christmas. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the.
Okay.
The support has been extremely generous. It's kind of mind blowing, to be honest, how incredibly generous gamers are and how appreciative they are of what we're doing. So thank you to everybody who's supported the project. I hope that you are enjoying.
No to Glacial Blue.
Your
No.
merchant.
Yeah,
stuff.
100%.
No to Glacial
Jib.
Blue.
Can we talk about mine and your favorite subject, Owen, the map?
Sure.
So
I'm gonna blow up Horseshoe Bay as soon as possible.
Thank you.
I'm literally gonna take a nuke and delete it off of the map. I'm just gonna put a big X on it and delete the whole thing.
Oh, that would be so good.
And everyone's gonna log in. They'll be in the ocean. They'll have to page help stuck, and they'll end up in Prevalia where they should be anyway. I don't know if anyone knows there's a second bank in Prevalia. There's literally 2 complete towns. One's upper, one's lower. If you want to get away from people, just head downtown. Go to the port.
Past Horseshoe Bay Bank is the worst experience possible in UO. You need about 30 refresh pots to run past it.
I think the only reason why it's popular is because Aegis Keep is right there.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's
exactly why. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good dungeon. It's a fun dungeon. It's a nice layout. It's got great mobs for new players, and I think that people are enjoying it for that reason. Expo has Horseshoe Bay Bank up in the
You saw that now.
There.
So
I just went there just in case for historical
what that
purposes.
doesn't show you is the 365 people that are hidden. Stand blocking you as you try to run past.
Yeah, they're all standing there invisible.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the idea of the town, but I really just wish I could do it better. But I like the way Upper Prevalia has turned out. I think that it's become a nice area. There's now a cemetery that's further east of the bank where new players can go and fight mobs. There's a healer there. Also a big mine if anyone's looking for a mine. All close to Prevalia Center, just past the zoo. So, but really, I think every town is popular right now. I was flipping through every channel or every town. Our player utility allows us to filter things so we can look at who's in a dungeon or who's in a town and only see those players. Also, the activity that they're doing while they're there. Every town had something like 30 or 40 people plus. Prevalia had 292 and Daria had 167. And then it goes down from there, and then Corpse Creek had 1 person.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, the Corpse Creek picture, I had to put that up there.
Yeah, completely empty. It's a ghost town.
Look at Mercury showing off on Cambria Bank roof.
Yeah. I saw someone got up on the Terran roof. I don't know how they did it, but kudos to them. I didn't make a method for anyone to get up on that roof, but they figured it out.
Let's go. Expo, go and see what Axel's up to in Corpse Creek. He's probably on a character just wearing pink shoes, is my guess.
Hold on, I'm trying not to die in newbie dungeon. I just saw him getting attacked. No.
Also about the map, Owen. I've barely had a chance to look at Outlands Discord in the last week, which is odd because that's been like the last 2 years of my life. But a couple of times I've seen people moaning or complaining about some of the kind of narrower areas of the map.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that? Would you redesign or would you tell people to learn to play?
I think that if people bring areas that they're finding really troublesome to me, like there are actual mechanical errors that I built into the map, then I'll fix it. But no, probably not. We had a player come in and he didn't like the way it looked. I've since gotten to know the player. I realized his intentions weren't malicious, but I was at my wit's end at that point when someone wanted to come in and tell me that 8,000 hours worth of work I did wasn't worth it. I was ready to, boot their ass to the curb and say, go find another shard where you can play that stupid old map until you die. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah. As people are talking about Cambria Moongate being distant from the town, which it does appear to be at first, but
yeah, you don't have to walk all the way around. You just haven't found the shortcut.
There's a tunnel. If you look carefully, there's a tunnel. Vineyard is the clue.
Yeah, there's a tunnel. Go through the tunnel. It takes you right to the Moongate. That's the intention of the the tunnel is that you can get to the Moongate more easily. Also, there's another bridge that I built, which we call the Arthur Dane Memorial Bridge.
I wonder if everyone knows the story of Arthur.
Because he requested it be built there, so I built it for him, and then he rage quit before launch. Actually, he didn't rage quit, he just left. We hope Arthur's okay. Anyway, we named a bridge after him. So, yeah, it's actually a lot easier to get to that Moongate than you think that it is.
Do you have any major map patches due, or are you happy with things as they stand?
There's one cave that doesn't work. That's annoying. I've got that fixed already. There are a few stuck spots, but if you page when you're stuck, please page when you're stuck. Don't just use the help stuck feature. If you're actually stuck, let us know so we can put a blocker down. That helps us make the map much more enjoyable.
There's a few issues in some dungeons with line of sight relating to, I assume, Z-axis. I'll link those to you later, actually. Inferno definitely being one of them. I'm not sure if there's much you can do about that.
Yeah, for sure. Those are things that we can work out as we go along. We can also do things in-game now. I'm not relying strictly on the map. During beta, we weren't able to put anything down on the map other than what was in our world gen code, but now that we have a live, consistent server, we are able to make changes to the actual map there. So we can block things or add things as needed, and they won't get removed every time we repack.
So can I use this opportunity to talk about my favourite subject, the bridges in Inferno?
Oh yeah, how many people have died in Inferno?
So I ran in the other day, and
it
was about 15 corpses on the first bridge. It was amazing. I sent you a screenshot, didn't I, of my entire guild kind of doing the conga line across.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I know that bridge is hilarious. Sorry if you've died on it. Don't quit because of the bridge.
What you need to do is either remove the spawn from around it so you don't get hit by the bridge and then killed by an archer that stood next to it, or just lower the damage, because it must be making people cry.
I mean, we have to laugh about something, don't we? Like,
I sure have.
It's pretty funny. There's a sign that says "cross at your own risk." I know that reading is like a little bit too much to ask. You know, like if you're downloading the patcher, please read the 2 bold red notes at the top, which will smooth out the entire experience for you. Yeah, read this. Click and read the sign beside the bridge. Someone's asking about Orion. Do I have any idea? No. I have commandeered Jaden. His skills, I'm sorry, are much more valuable for us trying to optimize the server lag right now. His profession is large-scale server optimization, and we've taken him and applied him to the lag issues that we're dealing with right now. So in terms of the next build of Orion, I actually think that Classic UO is now exceeding Orion, which is a C# rewrite of the Orion client. Jaden was struggling to find developers who knew C++. There just aren't that many of them around anymore. A lot more people know C#. So he put together a team, and I think that they're quite close to surpassing where Orion is already. And that will be the official client of Outlands moving forward. So once that's ready, then we will try to migrate as many users away from the Classic client, especially Steam, and onto Classic UO, because I think that that's really the way to move forward. So no, in terms of Orion, I don't have another ETA. I know that they're working on it. He has a team working on Classic UO right now, and it will be released as soon as possible. But also, Orion's a beta client, so if you have high expectations of something that's fully functional, you're delusional. You know, it was never advertised as a fully functional client. It's not a part of our launcher for a reason. I know that it looks pretty and you have high FPS, and that's, you know, makes your gameplay experience more enjoyable, but you really need to be realistic that Orion isn't a finished product. It never has been, and it may never be a finished product. So, you know, if you're experiencing issues or your hotkeys aren't sticking, you need to log out and resync, and none of the map programs work. Like you're asking for things that were never projected or included in the initial offering. So just try to be mindful of that altogether, I guess.
It sounds like in 6 months we may have a version of Orion or whatever it is that Jaden's working on that could actually be useful for everyone all the time, PvP or otherwise. So I guess we just need to be patient.
Yes. Yeah, just be patient. We're all working for free on this project, and we're trying to do everything as quickly as we can. So yeah, just be patient. Most of the bugs that people are reporting, he knows about. So yeah, just try to be mindful. Someone just asked how many users we have online. There's about 1,300 people online at the moment. Oh,
And
Outlands is
Did
huge.
you say that was 900 uniques earlier as well?
Yeah, we've gone up. We're a little over 1,000 unique users right now.
Amazing.
There are a lot of people that think that you can just divide the count by 3, but not many people are playing 3 clients right now because of the server issues.
That's absolute rubbish. I've been on one account the entire time, other than an odd moment. I'm just playing one account and enjoying the server, and I think most people are the same.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people are popping into Discord and they're just trying to shit talk and troll, and they ask for the player account. We've been quite forward with it. They don't divide by 3. I'm like, actually, no, don't. You can't divide by 3 because it's much busier than that. You probably have never been on a shard this busy before, and not everybody multi-clients. They just don't play that way, especially right now. So,
yeah, and it's even harder. So one benefit of the lag is people aren't going to multi-client as much because it's almost impossible to keep track of it.
Right, exactly. It's kind of dangerous. So, yeah.
Okay,
Are there any other?
Yeah, I don't know if there's any other questions from chat. I've got a few to ask, but it's probably...
Civ is asking a question. Civ. Oh, maybe it's not Civ. Someone's asking if they. I thought it was Civ asking how to adjust the Razer resolution settings. If anything is going to make me jump off a bridge, it's fucking resolution settings. If we're being honest, you can now adjust your resolution settings through the client. Click the little settings button, choose your resolution right there, and it will stick in your launcher. So please do that. It wasn't Civ. It was Suruo. Sorry, it was too close. Civ has been amazing.
They've been
helping
fighting
people.
over that name.
I think Civ's probably helped as many people as me. So sorry, sir, not Civ.
One of you needs to get a new name. Okay, so what about what? I don't know. This isn't really your field of expertise, Owen, to say the least. How do you see things developing regarding PKing with the current penalties? When do you think faction warfare is going to start to take off?
I think people are realizing that when they're red and they die, they have to pay a penalty, which is really making them think about it.
There was that guy that was complaining before.
Yeah, no. If you're red and you die to a monster, you're going to pay for it, and that is making you think about how you're killing people. Luthien posted the whole player window when we hit 1,000 players because it was a big milestone for us. So he shared all of the online, and we had 1,000 players online, and none of them were red. And that is a fascinating statistic for Ultima Online in 2018. It is not quite the same volatile place that it used to be, and I think that is probably why we have a large population. So
I think it's going to take another few days to a week before we start seeing large numbers of reds, because I'm not sure if it was intentional, but the need to bless a rune book has held people back a lot. It's definitely made me. I've been sat on 4 counts since day 1, and I've not wanted to go to 5 because I haven't had a blessed rune book.
Right.
So that's definitely held people back because you literally can't get around.
Right. I know that we have sort of the first rune library. Black Tea made one outside of the outpost Moon Gate. So if you need to get around to any dungeon, there are runes there.
I can't believe he's beat me to that. I was planning on doing that today or tomorrow.
Yeah, he's done. He's got
classic Black Tea.
Got every dungeon marked there. Someone's asking if there's a bank in the starter town. Yes, it's in the north. It's raised above its little stone building, and the Prevailing Merchant is sitting there by the caravan. I don't know what his name is. I think it's just Shad or something that Lucy came up with.
He's not a real person, Owen. It's fine.
Yeah, it's true. He just a name so you can find. Black Tea also has a rune. If you go to the Prevalia Moongate, there's a caravan there. There's a rune inside of an inscription rune. If you recall off of that, you go somewhere really cool. You may or may not get stuck there when you go, so I wouldn't recommend it. But you can, if you're up for an adventure, you can try it. It's got the best loot on the shard.
So do you think the murderer penalties are going to continue to work? And are you happy with the fact that it's limited murderers so far? I have to say I am. I think it's good. No one's been driven from the server by incessant PKing in week 1. At least I think it's great.
I think it's great. I think it's working. I think that Luthien was really onto something when he came up with the system, and I think it's good. And obviously it can be adjusted moving forward, but right now it's working.
Yeah.
So in terms of launch week, I think it's been very effective.
There's plenty of options for consensual PvP for people that want to get involved in it. and I think factions is going to begin to take off. I'm not sure where other people are with PvP characters, but I'm guessing some people must be getting close to completion. They must
Pretty
be
close.
majoring in Resistance to the 90s now, I would have thought.
Yeah. We had, just in terms of content that's coming down the line, factions will obviously be launching soon. We'll probably push that to start as soon as we have the lag under control. So just hold off on that. Continue to work on your characters. You'll have characters that are ready to roll for factions as soon as that is ready. Also, shrines are now corrupting and that's functioning fully. So if you want to tackle that, you will be able to find a shrine. And also bosses and mini bosses are all spawning now. We've had people taking them out. I know a few guilds. Finstack has been doing it. Vank's been doing it. A few other guilds. There was a huge group of like 30 people taking out Gatekeeper and Mausoleum the other night.
Yeah, I have that recorded as well. One of the things I wanted to show, because that was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to watch all these noobs try to take down a boss. I think they all died a few times.
Yep.
But yeah, that's given me a lot of joy, absolutely, watching those sort of events take place.
Yeah, we haven't quite been brave enough to try a boss yet. I think
Get out there.
We might give it a go this weekend. There's enough of us. I don't think I've got any more questions.
All right. Anything else in chat? Anyone asking questions? Let's see. Is there anywhere to kill standard harpies in a dungeon camp outside of shelter? Yes. If you head west out of Prevalia Bank and then you head south, once you cross the bridge, you'll run into Ettins and ogres and trolls and harpies. And there's also an area called the Ruined Lyceum, which
has no harpies at all.
Has no harpies, but is a great place for like mid-range characters to.
I think people are asking for harpies. I mean, I'm not. This is going to be a test of your UO mechanics knowledge. Why do people want to kill harpies? Do you think?
For their feathers, obviously. God,
I have played UO.
I have played UO at some point. I've just spent a lot of time building Outlands lately and haven't. I obviously am not playing. I've got way too much shit to do to play the game. Let's see. Lodestone crushed hero for 2 hours.
Oh yeah, Lodestone is ridiculous. I mean, I don't know if we've talked about this before. Lodestone is hilariously overpowered.
Yeah, we'll adjust that eventually.
That is something we could talk about actually. I don't know what your thoughts are, but only having been to a few dungeons in Oshery we started in, there's not much high level content in there. I mean, the bosses tend to be easier in Oshery. Is that kind of intentional that Oshery is a bit of an easy dungeon?
Yeah, I think Ossuary is definitely the way that new players should start. I recommend it to everybody who's looking for the next dungeon to go to. So if you're looking for a dungeon to graduate to from the new player dungeon, then pop into Cambria and head west through the desert and you'll end up in Ossuary. It's a good starter undead dungeon. Content all the way through to level 3 is fairly approachable for most players. People are asking about Salos, and I want to address this because Keith in particular has been quite abusive about asking me for Salos. There are quite a few people that are on the block list now, and he's definitely one of them. Salos, if we remove the features from Salos that people like because it's a cheat client, then they wouldn't want to use Salos anymore. So there's really little point in developing Salos. We have a developer working on a version of Salos for Outlands. Is that our priority? Absolutely not. We'd much rather put all of our effort into Classic UO than into rewriting Salos to make it a level playing client for Outlands. Right now, we're not. It's absolutely not our priority to be working on Salos. We had a lot of very vocal people come into chat during beta, and we don't want it, really. And to be honest, the people that use Salos or prefer Salos typically aren't the kind of player that we want in our community. So I'm not upset that we're not supporting Salos.
I'll just say on your behalf, Owen, fuck 'em is my thoughts.
Yeah, I'll more eloquently say the same thing.
Yeah. Well, Outlands seems to be being quite successful without them.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we just hit 1,300 online, so.
Nice.
Yeah, we're not missing the Salos players and their attitude. Absolutely not. If it does come down the line and we have Salos functional for Outlands in a way that we can control and mitigate, then we will release it for players. But really, I think once we strip away all the features that you're using to cheat and automate your gameplay, then you won't want to use it anyway, because it's really not that great of a client otherwise. In fact, most of the content that we have on Outlands won't work for you, so it's just not worth our time. It's not worth your time. Don't even ask. It's not worth it.
Any
Anything
more
else?
questions in chat? Has anyone got anything they want to ask Owen while they've got the opportunity? Everyone's too busy playing, Owen, even in this lag.
I know. 180 people watching, listening. Hi, everybody. Thanks for playing Outlands. It's been an amazing first week. We hope to have all of this sorted out as soon as possible. If you can do us the favor, tell your friends that we are working on it. We're doing everything that we can do to optimize this whole experience. In terms of moving servers, moving hosts, changing everything. There's much more going on than meets the eye for players and what we're releasing. And behind the scenes, we are just doing everything that we can to make this as enjoyable as it can be. To say it has exceeded our expectations and you've all been more awesome than we could have hoped for would be an understatement. So thank you very much for...
You've got a few more questions now, Owen. You can't disappear just yet, sorry.
Oh,
So
no.
I'm going to ask a very quick one. Have all the launch rares been found?
No,
Oh, what? Don't tell me things like this.
there are more.
We have...
Yeah, there are still some
my friends
out
and I
there.
have one. I take it there's people that have multiple. I'm guessing Black Tea probably has multiple.
Yeah, Black Tea's got a couple. I know that.
No surprise. Okay, and there was a
Are
question.
donator items blessed? No. The Traveler's Lantern is, everything else isn't. You have to buy a blessed seed if you want to bless your dono items. Prevalia coins are blessed now as of the last patch.
What's the friendliest boss and also mini boss for new players?
Ossuary.
Yeah, both ossuary ones.
Yeah.
Speaker of the Dead is definitely the easiest mini boss in my experience, from beta anyway.
How many minutes before the Oxide Cloth is removed? It'll happen. Oxide Cloth will be removed some point tomorrow. Whenever we patch tomorrow, Oxide Cloth will go. So we'll make an announcement whenever that happens.
We briefly talked about red penalties, but not in any depth. So if you have a question,
we didn't talk about red penalties. It's commonly available. I can link you in chat if you want to read about it. If you go into the development forum, you can see Murder and Resurrection. It was updated on October 14th, so you can check those out there. That is the way that it has been since its third incarnation. Is there any way to see Oxide Cloth on other items? No, but I was trying to explain this to people. If you look at a clothing item and it's gray, dark gray, then it's going to be brown. If it's light, it's going to be the green aspect of the hue. The hue goes from a shadow to a highlight. So if you look at it that way, then you'll see, boots, for example, are just going to look like brown boots because they're black in the grayscale. But if you wear something like I always say doublet, maybe it's doublet, it'll be quite green. It's quite bright. So that hue scales from brown red to greeny blue. So if it's light, it looks greeny blue. If it's dark, it will look brown. So
it's ugly. It's ugly. Don't buy it. I think we're finished though. No one.
All right, sweet. I see chat degenerating, so I'm just not even gonna touch half that shit. But
yeah, I'm about
thank you guys. Have a great night. We are going to do everything we can to get rid of the lag. So please be patient and thank you very much.
All right. Thank you guys. And
Thanks, guys.
so I'm gonna raid somebody also right now. Let's see, because I'm checking who is streaming right now. Outlands, and there are a couple. Who should we raid? Should we raid the heroes of Outlands? Should we raid?
Yeah, give it to Akasha.
Okay.
First house, give it to him.
Let's do that. All right.
Cool.
So
All right.
Akasha,
Is he wearing his wizard hat tonight?
That was him that's wearing the wizard's hat, huh?
Yeah. That's,
that's fantastic. I don't know yet. It's I'm getting an ad on on Twitch right now. We'll see.
All right. Later, everybody.
All right. Take it easy, everyone.
Dude.
Hold on. Definitely. And let's see. You guys can still hear me, correct? So let's see. I want to raid you. Yeah, it's been a fantastic time with Outlands, to be honest, everybody. Even though it's been slightly a pain, but it's been good. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to do this. Why is the wiki so slow? There's a couple of reasons for that. Unfortunately, we're optimizing that as well eventually. It's getting there. Let's see, raid and you. There we go. Boom. So yeah, we're about to go destroy this guy. Incoming Akasha. Everybody else, you guys have a great night and take it easy.